In the world of hip-hop, many stories are told of survival, hustle, and perseverance. Some rise to fame against all odds, while others are snuffed out before they can fulfill their destiny. The story of Lil TYS, a rising star from Sacramento, California, is one of those that could have been a tale of triumph, but instead, it was cut tragically short. His life, though brief, leaves a legacy that echoes in the hearts of those who heard his music and felt his struggle. But welcome to In the Mind of Lil TYS. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment of who you want us to break down next, and subscribe. A rapper, a brother, a son, and a symbol of the streets that both nurtured him and ultimately took him away. Lil TYS was born on October 26, 2002 in Sacramento, California. He was raised in North Highlands, a neighborhood that served as the backdrop for much of his music. North Highlands, like many parts of Sacramento, was marked by poverty, gang violence, and systemic issues. But for Lil TYS, it was home. And it was a place where survival wasn't just an option, it was a necessity.
City leaders in Sacramento are trying to figure out tonight why the city's latest crime statistics show such a sharp jump.
Last year's 43 murders citywide was the highest since 2008, but about the same as most of the 10 years prior to that.
We should not be celebrating. It's a step in the right direction, but over the last 7 years, violent crime has increased immensely.
Sacramento is often overshadowed by larger California cities like Los Angeles and the Bay Area when it comes to hip-hop, but Lil TYS and other local artists have been working to put the city on the map in recent years. He grew up in a challenging environment, with the city grappling with economic struggles, gang violence, and street life. Sacramento, particularly certain neighborhoods, is known for its rough reputation, and Lil TYS's early exposure to these realities played a significant role in shaping his music. Lil TYS has mentioned in interviews that he didn't have the easiest upbringing. Raised by a single mother, he was introduced to the harsh realities of life at a young age.
That I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like my parents never did nothing, but me growing up with my parents, that was a hard thing. Me and my parents never seen eye to eye. We always seen two different sides to everything. Pops was always doing his own thing, tweaking. Mom's was doing her best to try and raise me herself, but she just wasn't around like that. You feel me? Really know what's going on. I always ended up falling out, leaving out the house, going to hang out with who I wanted. So Pops, as far as Pops and Mom go, I don't really got no relationship with them right now, but I still love them. They always mom and dad.
Music became a form of escape and self-expression. His family life was one of resilience, with Lil TYS often using music as a way to deal with personal struggles, including his own battles with the streets. Growing up, he didn't have the luxury of sheltering himself from the harsh realities of the streets. His mother worked hard to provide for him and his siblings, but the world around them was tough. The pressure of growing up in a place where your neighbors often became your rivals made it hard to avoid the traps of gang life. Lil TYS was exposed to music early on. Growing up in Sacramento, he listened to a wide range of rap music, with local legends and mainstream stars influencing his sound. Artists like Mozzie, who was also from Sacramento, had a major influence on Lil TYS's style. Mozzie's gritty, street-oriented lyrics and his ability to paint vivid pictures of life in Sacramento resonated deeply with him. However, Lil TYS's influences weren't just local. Like many young artists, he grew up listening to mainstream rap icons such as Lil Wayne, Future, and Young Thug. These artists' unique flows, street narratives, and melodic styles helped shape Lil TYS's musical identity. He also admired their ability to blend vulnerability and street toughness, something that is very apparent in his own music. As a teenager, Lil TYS began to get involved in the streets. Sacramento's gang culture wasn't just something that happened on the news. It was part of everyday life. The Bloods, Crips, and smaller fractions all played a role in the shaping of the city's dynamics. And like many young people, Lil TYS found himself pulled into this world.
We've definitely seen an uptick here lately.
You feel me? You're gonna have that gang that you're representing, whether it's Crips, Bloods, Nortes. You feel me? You gonna have that gang representing it. Not even gonna say representing it, but you gonna have a lot of people from that gang with it because you're putting on for it.
Yeah.
So you feel me? As far as the Nortes go, not saying I'm a Norte, but as far as the Nortes go, that's a big community. That's a group right there. That's like, you feel me? One and a lot of homies have love for each other. Like it's a respect for them. So everybody's supporting each other. All the homies are supporting each other. So yeah, if it wasn't no gang anything involved, then the numbers for surely would be down.
While he tried to stay focused on music, the streets demanded his attention. Growing up in Sacramento's tough neighborhoods, Lil TYS was no stranger to hardship. He witnessed violence, lost friends, and was exposed to the realities of gang life. This life on the streets often found its way into his music. Lil TYS has been open about his involvement in the streets and how it influenced his mindset. He often raps about overcoming adversity, loyalty, and the emotional toll of street life. His experiences with loss, loyalty, and survival in a harsh environment are reflected in his lyrics. Much of his early music focuses on these struggles, with themes of ambition and striving for a better life while remaining connected to his roots. His involvement wasn't necessarily one of wanting to be a full-fledged gang member, but rather a way of protecting himself and asserting his place in a world where respect was hard to come by. In an environment where loyalty to your neighborhood and your people meant everything, Lil TYS couldn't afford to ignore the street codes. As Lil TYS's popularity grew, so did the conflicts around him. Success in the streets and in the rap game often creates its own set of problems. The more visible he became, the more he had to contend with the politics of the street. In an environment where there's a fine line between loyalty and rivalry, even someone as talented as Lil TYS was never immune to drama. Despite the temptation and distractions of street life, Lil TYS chose to channel his energy into music. He started rapping in his early teens, and like many aspiring artists, began by freestyling and recording tracks on his phone or any basic equipment he could get his hands on.
I'm sorry, mama, that school shit ain't work for me. I started hanging out with all them killers that do first degree. She asked you why I got a gun, they tryna murder me. To see me dead up in the casket, yeah, that shit would hurt to see. She told me stay up and spoil till you gon' make it out. I told her that would be great, yeah, that's the safest route. The police won't let me go, they tryna break me down. They tryna keep me locked up, they tryna take me out.
He uploaded his first tracks to SoundCloud, where he began to gain attention from fans who resonated with his raw, authentic style. One of the pivotal moments in his early career was the release of his breakthrough track Through the Rain in 2019, which helped him build a fan base outside of Sacramento. His vulnerability and emotional honesty in the song made it stand out, and it quickly went viral within local rap communities. From there, Lil TYS began to gain traction with a series of singles and mixtapes that highlighted his mix of street wisdom, emotional depth, and melodic flows. In 2020, as he was gaining momentum with tracks like Thuggin' for Life and Street Dreams, rumors started circulating that he was involved in disputes with rival local artists. The Sacramento music scene, though small compared to bigger cities, had its own competitive edge. Artists were often tied to specific areas or factions, and tensions between different sets were prevalent.
Somewhere, but I was too worried about you.
It's going to be somewhere. All I know is pull my hair in, bro.
That's
like,
what he pulled your head down.
I was fading, bro. Couldn't run the fade without doing something. Bro, my mama used scraps it. My mama, if I had my real day one brothers with me, none of that happened, bro. Like, bro, my mama, bro, could've. Sheesh.
Lil TYS's rise, unfortunately, wasn't just about his music. It became about positioning himself in a city with its own internal turf wars. Local rap beefs, though not as publicized as those in major cities like LA or Atlanta, were starting to surface. Rival rappers accused him of fronting or claiming certain areas that were disputed by other groups. There were even whispers that his affiliations with certain people and places had caused tension with others in the Sacramento rap scene. In the world of hip-hop, beefs are often played out on social media, and Lil TYS wasn't immune. As his fame grew, so did the social media attention, both positive and negative. He began to attract haters and rivals, many of whom took aim at him online. One of the more publicized moments of tension came in early 2021, when Lil TYS was involved in a heated back and forth on Instagram with someone from a rival neighborhood. The two exchanged jabs live on Instagram, accusing each other of fakes, lies, and betrayal. The beef didn't stop online. It reportedly spilled over into physical confrontations. Though some dismissed these conflicts as typical social media drama, others close to Lil TYS said that the tension was real. Local news outlets reported that the situation was more serious than just online trolling, with both parties allegedly being involved in altercations in public places, from local venues to parking lots. Fans of both sides picked up on the rivalry, and it only escalated the animosity. The rising star, who had once been known for his street storytelling, was now becoming part of the story himself. A real-life conflict between music, ego, and street loyalty. But it wasn't just the online drama that fueled the tension. Many of the same people Lil TYS grew up with, the ones who had watched him begin his journey, were also becoming his biggest critics. In the streets, success wasn't always seen as a win. Some saw it as a threat. There were rumors that people from his own circle felt like he was changing, moving away from the streets that raised him. They accused him of acting Hollywood, of not staying loyal to the block that had always been there for him. For Lil TYS, this created an impossible situation. He was stuck between two worlds, the streets that shaped his music and the music industry that offered a way out. Each world was pulling him in opposite directions. His attempts to stay focused on his career while navigating the tensions in his community weren't always successful. As Lil TYS's career seemed to be at its peak, the drama surrounding him only intensified. His newfound fame, combined with his street affiliations, made him a target. Despite his best efforts to avoid the violence and drama, the streets had a way of catching up with him. On the night of May 23, 2021, the tension finally reached its tragic conclusion. Lil TYS was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting in Citrus Heights, an area where street conflicts had often spilled over into deadly violence. While the exact details remain unclear, it's widely believed that the shooting was connected to the ongoing gang rivalries in the city, a culmination of all the pressures he had faced throughout his short life. Some reports suggest that Lil TYS's crew was targeted and that the attack was a retaliation for previous altercations.
All right, good morning. Let's get to that breaking news right now. It's out of Citrus Heights. Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies have been on the scene of a shooting. It happened at an apartment complex.
It's located on Birdcage Street. It's near the Sunrise Mall. This has been going on since before 11 last night. KCRA3's Mike Tassell's been there all morning long. And what have you learned, Mike?
And technically, this is the Citrus Heights Police Department that has been on scene here all morning. You can see one of their vehicles still here in the street, but they are now finally breaking down this scene after roughly 7 hours of investigation. In fact, you can see some of the officers here still walking away with some of the yellow tape that had been cordoned off in this entire area. Now, if we can show you some of the video from last night, this was right around 11 o'clock, reported call of a shooting. That is what brought the Citrus Heights Police Department out here. Speaking to one of the residents nearby, they said they were in their apartment when they heard a very quick burst of gunfire. They described it as clearly some sort of semi-automatic weapon and not a handgun because it was such a quick barrage, and they said it was like boom, 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 boom. And then they have been waiting for information like us all morning for official word from the Citrus Heights Police Department of what happened here. However, from visually watching this scene, did see what appeared to be a person in a body bag being wheeled by a stretcher to the coroner's van, which would suggest that this is a deadly shooting, or at least a deadly investigation scene. Still trying to figure out exactly what transpired here. We do have multiple calls out to the Citrus Heights Police Department.
Others say that it was simply a part of the unfortunate reality of the environment he came from. A violent world where rising stars often became casualties of the very streets that inspired their music. His death sent shockwaves through the local community and the music scene. His passing was more than just the loss of a talented artist. It was the loss of someone who, despite his fame, couldn't fully escape the grip of the streets. It was a tragic reminder of how violence, loyalty, and ego can collide, often with devastating consequences. It was a tragic reminder of how violence, loyalty, and ego can collide, often with devastating consequences. Despite the drama, the beefs, and the street politics, Lil TYS's legacy remains intact. His music continues to speak for those who still live the realities he rapped about. His tracks like Pain in My Eyes and Street Dreams are timeless, capturing the complex layers of ambition, struggle, and loyalty. While his life was cut short, his impact remains. Lil TYS's name is etched in the fabric of Sacramento's music scene, and his story serves as a reminder of the dangers many young people face as they try to rise above the circumstances that shape them. He was an artist who bled realness into every lyric, a product of the streets, but also someone who wanted something more. Welcome to In the Mind of Lil TYS. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment of who you want us to break down next, and subscribe. Rest in peace, Lil TYS. Your story may have been short, but it will never be forgotten.